morning, grade 4. Today is March 24, 2020. Our topic for today is how do scientists use tools? That is in page 309 of your book. Scientists use many different kinds of tools. A tool is an object or device used to perform a task. A tool you use will depend on the task that you'll be doing. Tools can help you to measure objects. It could also help you to gather information. Some tools will help you to know the volume of the liquid, like the graduated cylinder. Some tools will help you to know the mass, that is balance. Some tools will enable you to help to find the length and then the distance, that is a metric ruler. Here in question number 1, underline 2 things that tools help you to do. It could help you to measure object, or it could also help you to gather information. In question number 2, circle the measurement that is more exact. Which is more exact, 5 cm or 5.3 cm? We will use a metric ruler for that. Let's try to zoom or to make a ruler bigger. This number 1, 2, 3, 4 until 4 is in inches. A number here on top is from number 1 to number 10 here, we call it as centimeter. A tiny number here is called millimeter. cm stands for centimeter, mm here stands for millimeter. Which is more exact? 5 centimeter or 5.3 centimeter? Of course, the more exact and then the more precise is 5.3 because it includes the small details of the object that you measures. So when you are using a metric ruler, even the tiniest details of the object that you want to measure, you can do that. Let's proceed to the next page. Another tool that will help you to gather information is a hand lens. A hand lens will make an object appear more bigger. This allows you to see more detail than you could see with your own eyes. Example, when you want to observe a leaf, you see a leaf with your own eye, for sure. But if you want to see the full detail of leaf, you could use a hand lens. Since we don't have chance to go to the lab because of our current situation, just try to imagine this. And I will show you some picture. When you try to use a hand lens, you can see the leaf like this one. But didn't you know you can still make it bigger? This vein and then this tiny parts of the leaf here, you can see it more bigger and larger when you use a microscope. This picture is captured using a microscope and they zoom it 400 times. Imagine that. Okay, this leaf is just using a hand lens. So they magnify it using a microscope 400 times. A compound microscope could help you to see 400 times better, okay, compared to your eye. Imagine. But there are kinds of microscope that could also view you much better than the microscope. We call it as transmission electron microscope. Transmission electron microscope, it can magnify 5,000 times compared to ordinary microscope. Okay? So, isn't it amazing that there was a machine that could magnify 5,000 times? Yes. Some doctors, some scientists are using this one when they want to know the smallest part of an object. The smallest part of an object, we call it as an atom. In our body, the smallest part is called cell. So they can use this one for viewing the parts of the tiniest part of our body, which is cell. They could also view the tiniest uh, part of a matter, which is an atom. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, let's have this number 6. Tell what you would look at with a microscope. You could use microscope when you want to view a cells and then a bacteria. Cell and bacteria, you cannot see it with your own eye. You need a microscope to make it bigger. Even a hand lens, if you use a hand lens, it will not enable you to see cells and bacteria. You need a microscope or a transmission electron microscope to see the parts of the smallest living creature. Okay, so here another device that will help you to gather information is computer. Same also with your mobile phone. Okay, your mobile phone will help you to gather information, to calculate and analyze data also. So we are so lucky now because we have this kind of devices. Because before, in ancient or in old time, when they want to calculate a problem, a math problem, they calculate it manually. They calculate it with themselves. But now, we enter the data, we enter the number in our calculator using our mobile phone, using calculator or using the computer, and then we will get the information. We are so lucky. Another device to know if the object is hot and cold is a thermometer. I forgot some device to. Okay, this device is called telescope. Telescope will help you to see objects that are very far away. The example of object that is very far away to us is mountains, the star, the moon, the other planets. Okay? Now here, comparing observation. When you want to compare observation, device and tools are very important. It will help you to understand better if you have the devices. Example, how do scientists know the boiling point of the liquid? So they use a thermometer. How do they know the freezing point? They use the thermometer to compare the boiling and then the freezing point. How do scientists know the parts of the cells? Even the cells is the smallest part of our body. Scientists could compare that when they use a microscope. They could compare the cells of the plant and then the cells of the human, because cell of the plant and then human is different. So if they want to compare, they could use a microscope. Same also with the bacteria. The bacteria that you could find in your hand is a different bacteria that you could also find in other parts of your body. So comparing is very important, and tools and device will help you to find your answer when you are comparing. In number 7, why do you think some of the words in your book is color purple? Why the word thermometer here is color purple? Why the microscope word here is color purple? Why the word computer here is colored purple? The possible answer, I think the words are purple so that I know that that is the name of the tool shown. That's why, girls, highlighting a word is very important so that you know the things that you can focus at the same time. You can easily see the meaning and definition of the words. So let's proceed. I will show you some devices and tools to measure the volume of liquid. We have here volumetric flask, beaker, flask, cylinder, filtering flask, and then a barrel. I will zoom it for you. I will make it bigger for you. All of these tools is used to measure the volume of liquid. But didn't you know in our house or in your house there are some tools that is same as this. Measuring cup, measuring spoon is also same with this one. But this tools is used in laboratory in science lab. But at home, we use measuring cup, we use measuring spoon to measure the amount of liquid. So science is also happening at home, not only in the lab. Okay, tools to measure the length of distance. We have different types of devices to measure the length and distance. Tape measure. Tape measure, we can use it to measure the length of our body. Scale or a ruler. In other book, they call metric ruler as a scale, but that is just the same. Tape measure. Okay, this too is just the same. The white one is the same. You can only fold it. This one you can roll it. This one is a rolling type also, mechanically. Okay, so if you want to know your height, okay, you can use any of those to measure your height. If you want to know how far is your room to your mom's room, you can use this. If you want to know the length of your book, use this. If you want to know the length of your hair, you can use this. If you want to know the length of your hips, you can use this. Okay, so those devices is very helpful to us. Okay, tools to measure mass. We have digital scale. We also have here the weighing scale. You can see it in your kitchen if your mom have. And then the balance scale. This is for comparing which is heavy and which is lighter. Okay, digital, you can see it in supermarket. You know, when you want to know the mass of vegetables and fruits. So we call it as a digital scale. This is powered by battery or electricity. Another tools is tools to see things. Microscope, hand lens, and telescope. This tool helps you to see smaller thing. It makes it bigger. Microscope helps you to see far object like the stars, sun, and the planets. Protective tools. We use it to protect our body when we are doing experiments. Safety goggles to protect our eyes. Lab coat to protect our body and our skin. Face mask to protect our face at the same time to cover your nose, especially if they are fumes. Fumes are bad odor, like chemicals and burning object in the lab. Hand gloves is also very important, especially when you are touching dirty object, bacteria, and other other object that you cannot see that is harmful to your body. So this is very, very important when you are doing experiment. I will continue this video in the next part.